Welcome to another video on my art journaling processes, and today I will share with you the story of these two pages that you see here. This is my Dinah Wakely media journal, and I must have added this paint with quite a while back, because I can't remember exactly when, but I think I applied it with a baby wipe, and I obviously stuck some washi tape here before I applied the paint, because afterwards I took it off and that left this white border here. So I'm quite inspired now to do something with this. This was a burlap, one can't really say page, but it was like this, the burlap, and I cut it for some obscure reason. I cut it like this. So I don't know what my intention was at the time, but we'll see where this page will be going now. I actually stumbled upon some elements that I can use on this page. These daisies, and this is a gel press, yes, a gel print that I thought I could use. I have a little bit more of it. I thought maybe this piece could go there, and I have some more left, so we'll see what will happen with this page. I also stumbled upon this this page. It's one where I think I cleaned my small gel press plate, the square one, the mini gel press plate. I cleaned it on here, and I obviously tested some stencils over here. But I think this, I don't know, this inspires me, so let's see where this will be going. So I'm back, and this is therefore the second installment of the creation of this art journal page, or these two pages. So as you can see, I pasted down some of the elements that I showed in the first installment, the daisies, and this piece of gel print and these pieces. What I also found, and I thought it would, when I saw it, I saw some potential in it, and I pasted a doily that I cut up. I pasted two pieces there, and this is some stenciling that I did on tracing paper. So that piece was here, so that I just pasted down. I pasted down everything with a gel medium, Liquitex gel medium, and yes, so it's so interesting. The evolution of a page is always fascinating for me, because I approach an art journal page, I don't think a lot about what I'm going to do, and while I'm in the flow of creating, I always feel it's the page itself that tells me what I should do next. So instead of telling my stories, it's like the page wants to tell me a story, and at this point I don't know what the story is that the page is telling me, but perhaps I'll know by the end of it, or perhaps in future. Sometimes I don't know, even after I finish the page, I don't know what it's telling me, but in any case, it's just so much fun. It's just magical. And so on this side, I showed you yesterday a page where I cleaned my small gel press plates, the mini gel press plates, and also this piece. There's only a little bit left of it, and initially I had the idea of just pasting down some pieces here and there, and then as I started, as I told you, the page is telling me what to do. This page asked me to just go wild and just pasting down everything. And that is so relaxing and so much fun because there's no thinking involved. There's no plan. It's just, I just went wild, and I didn't plan anything. I just pasted the pieces where they wanted to go. And so now the next, in the next step, I don't know what will happen. I'll probably work on it tomorrow. I'll leave this. It's not completely dry as yet after I worked with pasted this down with a gel medium. So let's see what happens tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow for another installment in the evolution of this art journal, these two art journal pages. And I'm back again. This is the third installment of the creation of these two pages. And I'll start with this one because this is simpler. I have a lot to tell you about this page. So what I did here was I added a little bit of yellow with a new color 2 crayon to cover up a little bit of the white. I went around here and I just blended it with water. On this page, a lot has happened. So the stamping that I did on the tracing paper over here and over here, in fact, it didn't work so well. It wobbled tremendously and it looked absolutely terrible. Also, I think it was because this paper that is in this media journal, it's almost like fabric, and it shrunk. So you can see this is curling up. After I finish this page, I will put some clamps on here to straighten it. But in any case, this was a total disaster. So to save the page, so to speak, I decided to take some, what do you call it again, modeling paste, and to cover up the in French it's creux, the spaces. So, and I thought maybe I could paint over it or something, but that looked even more terrible than before. And at that point, my ego was starting to talk to me, saying, this is a disaster, just stop here, just paste the two pages together. And I said, no ways, I like this page and the rest of the page is working just fine. So I'll find a solution. And lo and behold, you will remember that I showed you this piece, torn piece from an a gel print, and I suddenly thought of it, and then I pasted it over this part that didn't work so well, and over this part, and then it started looking like something. So I'm quite happy with that. As you can see, I added a lot of detail. I did some stamping, stenciling over here. This is just this little what shall I call it? The baton. I just stamped with it with some green paint over here. I added some shadows around some of the pieces. I drew the daisy here and the little daisies here onto the piece of gel print that I pasted. And what else did I do? Yes, and I added a little bit more yellow and green everywhere. And I think now the page is working for me. I might add a text or I might not. But in any case, I'm quite happy with how it worked out. So, until tomorrow for the next installment. And I'm back for the last installment of these 2 pages. So I'll start with this one. So what I added since the last, the installment 3, is I used this stencil with some white acrylic ink. It's the titanium white, and it's by Amsterdam, the standard series. And I just applied the paint through the stencil with a makeup sponge. So I did it here and there. What else? Yes, I added a little bit more detail to the flowers with aqua brush pen, Lyra aqua brush pen, and some more details with the white, gold, and the black Posca pens over here and over here. And I pasted a little butterfly. I think that adds a nice touch. And then I also drew a little heart here, and that's for a specific reason. Is as I told you in the last installment, it was quite. I had some interesting moments with this page, so to speak, and what I learned from this page is the lesson I learned is to accept what is and to surrender to what is. And the moment one, instead of panicking and getting stressed when things don't work out, is just to take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and just get quiet, and then the solutions appear. It always works like that. So that's why I wrote here acceptance and surrender. And now for the other, the left-hand page, whoa, I added quite a bit of interesting things here. First of all, I stenciled. I also used this stencil, and I stenciled with Distress ink. It's the vintage photo, and this is the applicator I used. And then I used the same stencil, and I just moved it a little bit, and I also applied the paint. I stenciled with a white acrylic paint and the makeup sponge, and then I added some stamping. It's with this stamp, and it's from this Stampo Clear set. Except I pasted this stamp onto a piece of carton because it's easier to stamp with it. Sometimes after a while it doesn't stick to the acrylic blocks anymore, so that's why I do this after a while. You can see mine is quite used. There's some acrylic paint that I can't get out, not even with a toothbrush. So the lesson is, don't let, when you stamp with acrylic paint, if it's necessary to immediately clean your stamp. Otherwise this happens. So in some areas it doesn't stamp very clearly, but it doesn't matter, it still works. So I stamped these flowers and then what I did was I also used, I don't have the color here with me, but I used a pink, and I colored the flowers with a pink aqua brush pen. And also the little birdie that I stamped here is from Carabel Studio. It's this stamp set from Carabel Studio. It's designed by Zorot. And so I stamped that, and then I colored it with aqua brush pens, with Neocolor 2 crayons, and I added a little bit of interest with black and white Posca pens. And also in the flowers I went around with a gold. I did some dots here and there, and I went around certain areas with a gold Posca pen. What else did I do? Oh yes, and I painted also with the Neocolor 2 crayons. I painted a little branch here for the birdie because it seemed like it was just hanging in the air. And over here, I first went around with a black crayon, a black watercolor crayon, and then I went around with a green, and I just used this brush to go around, and this is the effect that I got. I'm quite satisfied with it. Initially I thought I'd add some leaves that I cut out, but it was too much. So I'm quite happy with that how that came out. And then for the text, over here I used the Micron, Pigma Micron archival ink pen, and it worked quite well. So as I said to you, the lesson I learned from this page is acceptance and surrender. And so I wrote here, saying yes to the easiness of life, accepting this moment as it is, I feel a deep sense of spaciousness within me that is deeply peaceful. And this text is inspired by two people. First of all, my spiritual teacher, Shastro, and also by Eckhart Tolle. So I think I told you everything about these two pages. If you have questions or want to leave me some comments, that would be really so lovely. And yes, so until next time for another voyage, for another creative voyage. Enjoy your art journaling, enjoy your creations, and I'll see you soon for another video. Take good care of yourself.